Hello, English learners. Welcome back to EnglishPod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And we're bringing you another great elementary lesson today, one that takes place at the office.
Yes, today we're going to teach you some great phrases so that you can ask people to help you.
Right. And I think this dialogue is with a new person at the office.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're new, you always need to ask people for favors.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to be asking for a favor.
So Marco, what exactly is a favor?
Something that a person does for you.
Like a small helpful thing.
Yeah, a small helpful thing. So, like, can you pass me that pencil? Maybe that's even a favor.
Yeah. Or maybe, can you pick me up on your way to work?
Yeah, that's a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Or even lending money to your friend.
Yeah.
That's a favor.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be talking about, favors and how to ask for one.
Because you always have to do this at work.
At work, with your friends, with your family. So let's listen to the dialogue and then we'll come back and explain all the vocabulary.
Sorry to bother you. My name is Rachel. I'm new here. Can I ask you for a favor?
Hi, Rachel. Welcome on board. I'm afraid I can't help you right now. I'm getting ready for a very important meeting.
Excuse me, but can I bother you for a second?
You know what? I'd love to help you, but I'm about to meet an important client. Do you want to ask Sean instead? He sits right over there.
Sorry to interrupt you, Sean. Could you do me a quick favor?
Actually, I'm working on a document that's due in a couple of minutes. I really can't talk right now. Sorry about that.
Jeez! I just want to know where the bathroom is. What's wrong with you people?
So a pretty busy office.
Pretty unhelpful colleagues.
I know, everyone's so busy. They didn't help this
know.
poor girl.
Yeah, I hope she found the bathroom.
Now let's take a look at the language from the dialogue. So let's start with language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
There's some great language in this dialogue, wasn't there?
Yeah, a lot of interesting phrases and words. The first one that I saw that was really interesting is on board.
On board.
Welcome on board.
Well, we've got some examples of how this phrase is used, so let's listen to them to help us understand the meaning.
Example 1. Welcome on board, Sarah. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Example 2.
We need to get our new office assistant on board as soon as possible.
Example 3. We decided to bring Melissa on board to join the marketing team.
So basically it means
Welcome to the company.
welcome to the company.
Or,
the team.
yeah.
Welcome on board.
So on board is the same as to the company.
I guess also when you get on a ship, they'll tell you welcome on board.
Yes, that's where it comes from.
Or an airplane.
Yeah.
Welcome on board. Okay, let's take a look at our next word. About to.
About to.
I'm about to.
I'm about to.
So this is a great phrase to explain that you're about to do something.
I'm going to do this thing really soon.
Okay, so for example, you can say, I'm about to go out for lunch.
Mm-hmm. Or I could say, hey, Marco, let's go record a show.
I'm about to go into a meeting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
About to.
Going to do something really soon.
Okay. The next word we have is instead.
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 Instead. It means in the place of.
In the place of.
Yep.
So, for example, if we're at dinner, I could say, I'll have the chicken instead of the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or I can say, I wanted to buy a red sweater, but they didn't have one, so I bought a blue one instead.
Instead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, in the place of.
Yeah.
And our last word for language takeaway, interrupt.
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 So, when somebody interrupts you, they come in and
They talk to you while you're doing something, or maybe while you're speaking.
Or maybe you're busy and people come and
bother you.
And bother you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So interrupt.
Interrupt. Okay, some great words here in our dialogue, and now we can listen to it again. This time it's going to be a little bit slower.
And you'll be able to understand the language a little bit better.
Sorry to bother you. My name is Rachel. I'm new here. Can I ask you for a favor?
Hi, Rachel. Welcome on board. I'm afraid I can't help you right now. I'm getting ready for a very important meeting.
Excuse me, but can I bother you for a second?
You know what? I'd love to help you, but I'm about to meet an important client. Do you want to try Sean instead? He sits right over there.
Sorry to interrupt you, Sean. Could you do me a quick favor?
Actually, I'm working on a document that is due in a couple of minutes. I really can't talk to you right now. Sorry about that.
Jeez. I just want to know where the bathroom is. What's wrong with you people?
Okay, so there are some great ways that you can ask someone for a favor, right?
Yeah, we want to show you some really useful phrases for asking for help.
Preview.
So let's start with putting it together.
Putting it together.
Let's listen to some different ways of how you can ask someone for a favor.
Example 1. May I get you to do me a favor? Can you carry this package in your suitcase for me? Example 2.
Can I ask you a favor? Can you just finish this report for me?
Example 3. Will you do me a favor and pass me that file?
Okay, so those were great examples of asking for a favor.
Yeah.
In our dialogue, we heard, "Can I ask you a favor?"
But we could also say, can I get you to do me a favor?
Right. Can I get you to do me a favor? Also, I could say, "Will you do me a favor?"
Will you do me a favor?
Right. So those are different ways of asking for a favor.
Let's say you want to ask someone for a favor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're busy.
Right.
So you'll need some phrases to help you do this.
Exactly. You need some phrases to interrupt somebody. Right? So let's listen to some examples of what phrases you can use to begin to talk to someone.
Yeah, to interrupt them.
Okay.
I hate to bother you, but...
I'm sorry to bother you, but...
I don't mean to bother you, but...
Okay, so those are really nice and polite ways of beginning to talk to someone.
Exactly. They're really useful at the office.
So maybe you want to talk to your boss, you knock on his door, kind of open it a little bit and say, "I'm sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if you have time for a meeting today?"
Or you could say, "I hate to bother you, but do you have time for a meeting today?"
Exactly. So those are great ways of starting up a conversation.
Yep.
And maybe setting it up to ask for a favor, right? So we can combine them. I could say, "I hate to bother you, but can you do me a favor?"
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah, really useful.
So then you can ask someone for a favor.
Yep.
Okay, great stuff. So I guess we can listen to our dialogue again.
Yeah, let's listen to our dialogue for the third time. And this time, I'm sure you'll understand it a lot better.
Sorry to bother you. My name is Rachel. I'm new here. Can I ask you for a favor?
Hi, Rachel. Welcome on board. I'm afraid I can't help you right now. I'm getting ready for a very important meeting.
Excuse me, but can I bother you for a second?
You know what? I'd love to help you, but I'm about to meet an important client. Do you want to ask Sean instead? He sits right over there.
Sorry to interrupt you, Sean. Could you do me a quick favor?
Actually, I'm working on a document that's due in a couple of minutes. I really can't talk right now. Sorry about that.
Jeez. I just want to know where the bathroom is. What's wrong with you people?
All right, so now you have all the vocabulary necessary the next time you need to ask someone for a favor.
Yes.
At the office, with your friends, with your family, anyone.
Well, everyone, we are out of time for today, but remember to visit our website at englishpod.com.
Exactly. At our website, you'll find the script of the dialogue, and also you'll find intermediate lessons, upper intermediate, and even advanced.
Yeah, exactly. Our website is a great resource for learning. Marco and I are always there to answer your questions, and we also have lots of helpful users who answer your questions.
Exactly. So don't miss out. Come to our website at englishpod.com, and we'll see you there.
Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The second paragraph of the dialogue.
Okay, so have you ever been in that situation at work where you need a favor, but everyone around you is just like crazy busy?
Yeah.
It's like, trying to ask a question during a fire drill.
It's so true. And you know what's so interesting about this is that even though we all experience this, there's an art to it. There's an art to asking for help effectively in the workplace.
I like that.
It's about more than just, saying please and hoping for the best. It's about really understanding how to use specific phrases and techniques that signal respect.
Right.
And make it harder for colleagues to actually say no.
Oh, I am very intrigued by this.
Yeah.
So we had this English pod episode
Yeah.
about Rachel, who's brand new at her job, needs help finding something very simple, the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
But every single colleague that she encounters is swamped.
Everyone.
And her struggle is so relatable, it's hilarious.
It really highlights how important it is to master certain phrases.
Okay.
Especially when you're new.
Especially when you're new, yeah.
These phrases, they don't just help you get what you need, but they help you make a really good first impression as well.
I like it. Okay. Let's hear a couple of her attempts.
All right, let's listen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry to bother you. My name is Rachel. I'm new here. Can I ask you a favor?
Hi, Rachel. Welcome on board.
Oh.
I'm afraid I can't help you right now. I'm getting ready for a very important meeting.
Oh, she struck out.
I know, she tried to be so polite.
She did, and you hear this welcome on board phrase, which sounds friendly enough on the surface, right?
Vocabulary
But it's
preview.
immediately shut down with, I'm afraid I can't help you right now.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm very important.
It illustrates that kind of delicate balance between being welcoming and setting a boundary.
Okay, welcome on board. Is that like the secret code for you're part of the team now, but don't ask for anything?
I think there's a deeper layer to it. Think about it literally, being on board a ship, you're part of the crew.
Right.
You have a role to play.
But you don't necessarily have access to the captain all the time, right?
It's true.
So in the workplace, on board signifies you're part of the company.
Right.
But it doesn't automatically grant you a claim on everyone's time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so how could Rachel have improved that first interaction?
So instead of leading with the apology and the, can I ask you for a favor, which kind of puts the person on the spot immediately.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's a little awkward.
It is a little awkward.
Okay, yeah.
She could have just been more direct about her need.
Okay.
Something like, hi, I'm Rachel. I'm new here. Could you point me toward the restroom?
Okay.
It makes it very clear what she needs.
Yeah.
And it allows the colleague to help quickly, even if they're busy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear how her next attempt goes.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Let's hear.
Excuse me, but can I bother you for a second?
Right.
You know what? I'd love to help you, but I'm about to meet an important client. Do you want to ask Sean? Instead, he sits over there. Poor Rachel.
Another wild goose chase.
I know, sent on another wild goose chase.
Yep.
What stood out to you there?
This one's all about the power of about to. It creates a sense of urgency. Like the colleague is on the verge of something very important and can't be interrupted.
Ah.
It's a very polite way of saying, I'm unavailable right now.
Right. About to is like the classic deflection technique.
Totally.
I also noticed the colleague uses instead to redirect her to somebody else.
Right.
What's the strategy behind that word choice?
Instead is brilliant because it softens the rejection. It's not just a no.
It's a no, but...
It's a no, but here's an alternative.
Right.
Even if that alternative leads nowhere,
Yeah.
it at least gives the impression that they're trying to be helpful.
So next time I need to let somebody down easy, I'm going to use the word instead.
Yes.
Okay, enough with these rejections.
Okay.
Let's hear Rachel finally get to ask Sean for help.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you, Sean. Could you do me a quick favor? So she gets to the point, but will Sean be receptive?
Notice that key phrase. Sorry to interrupt you.
Uh-huh.
It's small.
Right.
But it acknowledges that she's breaking his focus.
Yes.
Which is crucial for polite workplace communication.
Okay.
You're showing respect for their time
Right.
before you even make your request.
Got it. So even if we're feeling like frantic and we really need this thing, taking a second to acknowledge the interruption
Yes.
can really make a difference.
Absolutely it can. Absolutely. It shifts the dynamic, from I need this to I understand you're busy and I value your time.
Yeah.
That subtle difference can go a long way,
Okay, so it's like you're subtly acknowledging their boundaries before even asking for the fader.
Exactly. It's a way of showing that you understand the unspoken rules of the workplace, which is especially important when you're new.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and speaking of unspoken rules, we've been focusing a lot on like Rachel's attempts.
Yeah.
But how are her colleagues handling these interactions? Are they doing anything right?
That's a great observation. And I think it's worth noting that, while they were clearly all busy, none of them were outright rude.
Right.
They all offered some form of apology or explanation for not being able to help.
Yeah, they didn't just say like, go away, kid, you bother me.
Exactly. And that speaks to the other side of this equation as well, which is how we respond when someone asks us for help, even when we're swamped.
Right.
There's this dance between being assertive about our own needs, but also being mindful of how we're impacting others.
Right.
It's a dance. Yeah.
Yeah, a dance where you might step on someone's toes, metaphorically.
Totally.
Now, going back to Rachel's language, I noticed she kept saying, can I bother you for a second?
Yeah.
It seemed a little desperate.
It does highlight a common mistake, I think, which is downplaying your own needs.
Oh.
While it's meant to be polite, constantly asking to bother someone can actually backfire because it makes your request seem insignificant.
Yeah.
And it gives the other person permission to dismiss it easily.
So instead of saying, can I bother you for a second?
Yeah.
What would have been a more confident way for her to phrase that?
So instead of focusing on the bother, she could have emphasized her need a bit more directly.
Okay.
Something like, I'm new here. I'm completely lost. Would you mind pointing me towards the restroom?
Okay.
It's still polite, but it clearly conveys the urgency of the situation without diminishing her need.
Okay, so it's all about striking that balance, right?
Absolutely.
Between being assertive and respectful.
Yes, exactly. Remember your time and your needs are valuable too.
Yes.
By being direct about what you need, you're not being a burden.
Right.
You're simply participating in the natural flow of teamwork.
It's like you're signaling, I respect your time, but I also respect my own need for assistance.
Right, exactly.
Now, before we completely lose track of Rachel, let's hear one more interaction. Actually, I'm working on a document that's due in a couple of minutes. I really can't talk right now. Sorry about that.
This is an interesting one because even though Sean couldn't help, he did offer a specific reason for his unavailability.
He's busy.
Yeah.
And that's important.
It's better than just a nope, can't talk.
Much better giving a brief explanation.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, I'm on a deadline or I'm in a meeting. It shows that you're not simply unwilling to help.
Right.
But that you genuinely have a constraint right now.
Yeah.
It's about transparency, even in just a very quick interaction.
Okay, so even when we're saying no, a little explanation can go a long way.
It can go a long way.
In terms of maintaining goodwill.
Absolutely. It reinforces the idea that you're part of a team.
Yeah.
That you understand the pressures everyone's under.
Right.
And that you're not just simply brushing someone off.
Okay, so far we've dissected Rachel's not so successful attempts.
Right.
And gleaned some really great phrases to use when we need help.
But what about the flip side?
Right.
How can we make it easier for others to ask us for favors?
Yeah.
Especially when we're, up to our eyeballs in work.
Yeah. It's like, how do we become that person? Everyone feels comfortable approaching for help, even when we ourselves are like super busy.
It's almost like a superpower, right?
Right.
Be able to do that.
Yeah.
But here's what's interesting. Building that kind of culture of helpfulness, it's not just about being nice. It's actually a strategic advantage for the whole team.
Yeah.
When people feel comfortable asking for help, It streamlines workflows.
Right.
It reduces errors.
Right.
It boosts overall efficiency.
Yes. I love that so many hands make light work.
Exactly.
But in this case, instead of hands, it's like brains
It's brains.
and expertise working together.
Yes. And beyond the practical benefits, think about the impact on morale.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when colleagues feel supported, they're more engaged, they're more productive,
Yeah.
and they're actually more likely to stay with the company.
So a workplace where people feel comfortable asking for help
Yeah.
actually breeds loyalty and reduces turnover.
I like it. Okay, so it's a win-win for everybody.
It's a win-win.
Now let's go back to Rachel's experience. What if,
go.
instead of, kind of brushing her off, her colleagues had taken a moment to actually help her find the bathroom?
Yeah.
Would it have been that big of a deal?
That's where it gets really fascinating because on the surface, it seems like such a small interaction.
Right.
Right, almost insignificant. But when we connect it back to that bigger picture, it speaks volumes about how we welcome newcomers,
Right.
how we build trust,
Yeah.
and really how we shape a company's culture.
So even though they might have been legitimately busy, those missed opportunities to help could have sent the wrong message.
Precisely. Imagine starting a new job
Yeah.
and feeling so lost and invisible
Oh, yeah.
that you can't even get a simple question answered.
Oh, my God.
It creates this feeling of isolation. It makes it hard to feel like you really belong.
Right. It's like those small acts of kindness.
Yes.
Or in this case, lack thereof,
Yeah.
can have a ripple effect
Huge ripple effect.
on someone's entire experience.
Absolutely. Now imagine the flip side.
Okay.
Rachel gets a friendly smile and some genuine help.
Right.
She feels welcome, she feels supported,
Uh-huh.
and more confident navigating this new environment.
Yeah.
Those seemingly small gestures,
Yeah.
send a powerful message like,
Right.
this is a place where people look out for each other.
So what does this all mean for our listeners?
Yeah.
How do we become that go-to person, the one that makes others feel seen
Yes.
and supported, even amidst the chaos?
Here's the takeaway. Creating that culture of helpfulness. It starts with each of us. It's about being mindful of how we respond to those little requests.
Yeah.
Even when we're stressed and overwhelmed,
Uh-huh.
It's about taking a moment to acknowledge the person,
Uh-huh.
to make them feel heard, even if we can't drop everything to help right that second.
Because as we saw with Rachel, those seemingly small interactions,
Yeah.
they can really make or break someone's day or their week,
Absolutely.
or even their experience at a company.
And here's a final thought I'll leave you with.
Okay.
What if, instead of seeing these requests for help as interruptions, we saw them as opportunities?
Oh.
Opportunities to connect, to share our knowledge, to build stronger relationships,
Yeah.
and ultimately to cultivate a work environment that's both productive and supportive.
It's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into mastering workplace favors.
That's right.
We learned some key phrases to use when we need help and how to be more approachable when others need help from us.
Absolutely.
It's a constant dance, isn't it?
It really is. And the more we practice those steps of assertive yet respectful communication, the better we become at navigating the complexities of the workplace. Remember, even small gestures of helpfulness can have a big impact, creating a ripple effect of positivity and collaboration. Until next time, keep learning, keep asking, and keep helping each other out.
That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive.